that the administration is deliberately inflating the effects of the sequester. Now, yesterday we told you about Homeland Security Secretary Janet Sherlock Napolitano and her lies about airport delays. Well, today we have written proof that this is all calculated. Now, a leaked email from an Agriculture Department's field officer shows him alerting his regional team about a response from the agency's budget office about the latitude he has in making cuts. Now, according to the partially redacted email, the reply reads as follows, quote, "So it is our opinion that however you manage that reduction, you need to make sure that you're not contradicting what we said the impact would be." Now, I think we can safely call that a smoking gun. Now, it's pretty downright shameful because from canceling White House tours to announcing the intention to release thousands of illegal immigrants, there's nothing, it seems, that's off limits for this president when it comes to playing politics. Here with reaction to that and more, former presidential candidate, Fox News contributor, CEO himself, Herman Cain, hermancain.com. How are you, sir?
I'm great, Sean. Thank you.
Isn't it nice to see a real filibuster? I mean, they always threaten a filibuster. Just the threat of it is enough, and everybody capitulates. But to actually see one going on over, I think, a principled position that we're not going to bomb American citizens on their homeland without the benefit of due process and a trial. Where are all those liberal civil libertarians?
I think it is refreshing to see a real filibuster because it underscores the way our government was set up, such that you couldn't have an administration or any branch of the government shove something through that might be in the worst interest of the American people. I'm glad to see that for the first time, I can't even remember when we've had a real filibuster.
I can't either.
And the other, I can't even remember. So I think that is good. The other thing that a filibuster does, a real filibuster, it gives the American people time to begin to get familiar with some of the facts of the situation. Remember, when President Obama forced Obamacare down the throats of the American people, and Nancy Pelosi said, "We have to pass it to tell you what's in it." You remember that phrase? That is, you know.
That was the best imitation I think I've ever heard of.
I mean, come on, Sean. That is an insult to the intelligence of the American people. A filibuster gives the American people a chance to get familiar with some of the facts. And that's why I'm glad to see that they are actually taking it seriously in this particular case.
All right, let me go to this issue. The president demagoguing, all the fear, apocalyptic talk, the seals of revelation have been opened. Now it's becoming clear to the American people, number one, a lot of lies were told about it, and none of the predictions are coming true, and maybe cutting $44 billion of $3.8 trillion when we're robbing our kids blind is not a bad idea.
Let's put it in perspective, Sean. The Government Accountability Office, which is a department of the government that we pay for, does an analysis every year to determine the amount of waste, fraud, and abuse based upon overlapping programs or ineffective programs. Last year in 2012, they determined that there was over $260 billion in that category. Do you know what the members of Congress and the political class, you know what they do with that report every year? They put it in a drawer. Now, for people who may not have done the math, $260 billion is more than 3 times this $84 million that the government and the president and the administration are in an angst over. All that the administration is doing is trying to scare the American public into believing that this $85 billion is Armageddon.
This is how pathetic it is. We got a quote here of the president actually saying, "Do you want to cut kids in poverty, or do you want to cut the poor kids or disabled kids?" I mean, it's just nuts. I mean, Arnie Duncan, the education secretary, he was caught in a lie. The president said we were going to cut janitors. That's a lie. Here's Napolitano scaring people about what's going to happen at airports. And guess what? None of which has happened. And you can watch Rand Paul, by the way. The filibuster continues.
We are already seeing the effects at some of the ports of entry, the big airports, for example. Some of them had very long lines this weekend. Sequestration, it's like a rolling stone. It keeps picking up speed as it goes downhill, we could see a lot of misconnections. Average wait times to clear customs can increase by a significant percentage. We will not be able to pay TSA workers overtime. I'm not trying to alarm you. It's just doing the math.
They've lied about all of this, the predictions of doom and gloom, and they now want to inflict the maximum amount of pain, obviously, through this memo on the American people.
That's exactly right, Sean. Let me tell you the only thing that gives me some encouragement. In 1 week, a Gallup poll of the president's favorability ratings shows that he went from 53%, which I couldn't understand, down to 46%. That tells me that there are a lot of people who get it. They're not as stupid as the administration and the president think that they are. They are starting to see through the double talk, and they're starting to see through the scare tactics coming from this president and this administration. That's the one thing that gives me hope.
All right, Herman Cain, thanks for being with us. As always, appreciate it.